What's up? Welcome back to Real Talk NFT. I'm your host, Brian, where we talk about all things Web3, NFT, meme coin related. We have a very interesting guest here for you today. It's the co founder, Nick, of the MAGA Meme PAC. They're essentially a political action committee set to tokenize and reward meme creators by mobilizing votes essentially through meme coins. Nick, really excited to kind of hear about how you're changing the game here in the meme coin world.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all having me on. Super excited. I'll kind of just dive right in and explain like who I am and kind of like the core group as well. So my name's Nick Passino. I'm from upstate New York. I haven't really been into politics that much until like the last election, 2020. I've been in crypto since 2016 though. Fell in love with Bitcoin as soon as I read the white paper. Always been like anti-bank, anti-establishment, so to speak. So that was right up my alley. But as far as like the 2020 election, we noticed, doing the deep dives, there was some issues with the last election. And with this current administration, we've seen, kind of our country erode, as it once was. The dreams and opportunities are vanishing. And then we kind of got into the aspect of like when I spoke to my brother, he's part of the team, he's one of the core members, his name's Paul. I talked to Paul and I said, Trump's going to be on the ballot again this year. We can't really sit idle, and we got to do something because we're both fathers, right? We want to ensure our children's futures are, the American dream is alive and well, right? So we decided we looked online. We wanted to attend a rally. We were playing in with the meme coins a little bit. There was some the Trump meme coins and stuff. So we're dabbling on a couple of CTOs and stuff like that, and we love the energy of it, right? And what we noticed was it was able to bring like-minded people together. So I was like, this is interesting. I was like, maybe we can kind of leverage this. So we attended the first rally in Las Vegas, and we met up with a lot of important people, so to speak, of the political sphere, and then also from just celebrities in general. And then we were making a bunch of noise in regards like how we're dressed, what we looked like, etc. We as if you follow the MAGA boys, you can kind of see our rally outfits. We stick out like a sore thumb. So we're loud and proud, right? So what we noticed is that there was an issue in the way like politics is ran and how it's like portrayed in the mainstream media, right? The mainstream media lies a lot, and we're like kind of like on the ground. So to kind of reel back in regards to crypto is the Biden administration has been real hostile towards crypto. And we know like this thing of ours is very special. This is like near and dear to our heart, and like this is our future. So we're like, how can we protect that, right? We know Biden's not the answer because Gary Gensler is a hiree of Biden. So we really need Trump in office because he came out being pro Bitcoin. So what we decided to do is we're like, how can we expose the mainstream media and these corrupt politicians and kind of like trump the voice, so to speak, of the mainstream media? And we're like, memes, right? Like memes are extremely viral and they're able to deliver a message. So we kind of like broke it down as in like how they used to do it. So they had the newspaper, right? And they used to use the satire cartoons because politics are dry. But what we noticed is like back in the day is usually you go out for like Sunday breakfast, they got the paper and they're talking about politics, but they're talking about the cartoons. And that was able to deliver a message. So it's a vehicle. So we're like, memes nowadays, everybody's got a cell phone. So the way politics works nowadays is they do door knocking. So like you go on, you door knock and you deliver a message and you collect data that way. How are you reaching the Gen Z and the millennial voters? I mean, the way the economy is right now, they're really not don't have the ability to afford their own home. So usually they're living with their parents or living together. You're not able to touch the voters. Well, I'm like, you can send messages through the phone, but you have to be able to make it viral enough and make an impact because Nope. Let's face it, like the millennial and Gen Z voters are one issue voters. It's like the economy, can they afford a home? Like those are the big issues for them. Are they safe, right? So and they speak like nowadays, like that generation speaks with just like memes alone. Like whenever they communicate with back and forth with one another, they just like send a meme or a GIF, right? Like it's kind of unique. So we're like, okay, well, what happens if we can incentivize voters by or incentivize the crypto community to kind of call out the lies and the corruption of these politicians and of the mainstream media. The way the algorithms work on X and TikTok, the more views that you get, your message is going to come before theirs, really. So we're thinking about, we're going to launch a meme coin, um, and we're going to incentivize people to make memes, and whoever gets the most impressions would be awarded in our meme coin. But then we wanted to take it up another level. But I'll kind of back up a little bit and explain, how it really, what the catalyst was, for us to really go all in, because this was just kind of like, the crypto thing we wanted to get involved with and with politics, but we weren't really 100% committed. We were at the July 13th rally in Butler, and we were the group was, we were doing our thing. We met up with Scott Pressler. We're registering voters in Pennsylvania. We're traveling back and forth from New York to Pennsylvania because we know Pennsylvania is the key state to win. We win Pennsylvania, Trump's in the White House. So we were literally, anytime we could, we were traveling Pennsylvania, going to rallies, registering voters, going even though like we post up outside Home Depots, outside of Pennsylvania, registering voters. We're doing everything we can. And we're educating people, right? Because educating people, trying to get them away from the mainstream narrative where it's, full of BS, really. And just really telling them really what's going on and having those candid conversations. But as far as like the Butler rally, that's really, where the MAGA boys movement really, was born, I would say. We when we noticed it, like it was surreal, and I'll kind of explain how it was like to be there. So the big flag in the background, everybody knows the big notorious flag. We looked up prior to Trump coming up, and it like formed into like a cross, and it was like it was like eerie almost, like it was weird. Everybody was like talking about it and pointing at it in the crowd. The cranes, they dropped it down, they fixed the flag. It was extremely hot. We were handing out waters. We were VIP sitting right next to the congressman's there. We were passing out waters to everybody. And then at 6:11, I was recording on the phone. I was zoomed right in on Trump, zoomed right in on him. And then I panned back, and you can see this video online through the Hodge twins. They posted it for us. And as I panned back, and I did like a selfie because I was going to go ahead and just put my phone away because we record on all the rallies, right? And the shots rang out, and you could hear, this wasn't like we were downrange from gunfire. The fire flew right up over our heads. According to the FBI, there we're sitting right next to Dan Muser, Congressman Muser, and they're about 18 inches from our heads, which it was right there. And it was just, you can hear it cracking through the air, like the wind breaking. It was obviously incredibly scary. We got down. But it was like when we stood back, we kept wanting to get up because we knew, we were wondering if Trump was hit, right? We were terrified. We were like, no, please, please, God, let him be okay. And we wanted to stand up, even in the gunfire. We were trying to stand up, and then we heard somebody was hit. Corey was sitting right behind us in the bleachers. He was tragically taken from us. And just, during a mix of the chaos and everything, you can go watch the video. It was wild. We kept staying up. We're trying to help people, trying to like, because it was in the mix of the gunfire. Usually people just spread and run, but we weren't able to. Everybody was concerned about President Trump and, fellow patriots. So we were doing what we can. And then we seen the infamous fight, fight, fight. And it was just, man, that energy that happened from there it was something I'll never forget. Just being there, like the news, watching on the news. As I went back and I watched other footage of it, it doesn't explain the feeling that was in that moment. After that, as we kind of dispersed from the crowd and everybody was making their back, and mind you, during this whole time, we didn't know the Secret Service killed the shooter. We still thought there was active shooters, we thought we were going to get mowed down, basically. You could hear the gunshots come through. There were different lines of fire. Obviously, we didn't have any form of communication. Secret Service cut communications to all phones, so you weren't able to get any news, any updates, no nothing. So as the crowd was trying to disperse out. We were helping people because there was older people. We were trying to break down, get through the gate. Secret Service came up to us and like. He didn't pull the gun up, but he had the gun up. It was like, get back, get back, get back. And we're like, we have to relieve this pressure. These people are scared. We have to get them out of there. So we started funneling everybody out through the front. So we're making our way out, and you could just feel the energy in the air. It was bad. People were pissed. They're like, you just tried to take out our president. Like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Like that energy from there. And when we got back to the MAGA bus there, we kind of sat back and we were praying that President Trump was okay. We seen the fight, so we knew, but we knew he was hit because you could see the blood. Like we didn't know at what, that he was like how many times he was hit. We didn't know any of the details, so we were praying that he was okay. And then we all sat there and there was a quiet moment, and we were just sitting there. We have to do more. What can we do more? Like th- this can't happen. So that's where we're like, a couple days went by and I spoke to Sean. I'm like, you know what? We need to start a super PAC. Let's become the first crypto super PAC. And what we will do is we will raise money and then we'll pay the MAGA boys, the consultants, and we will take it and we will buy our crypto coin off from the, circulating supply, and we're going to pay the memers. And what this will do is we're able to inject outside liquidity from politics, because the amount of money that goes through politics is insane, right? For the door knocking, but door knocking is not as efficient. It's kind of archaic in a way, and you're not able to to get that message out, in my opinion, like you will effectively by reaching every single phone. So I was like, not only that, the amount of money that we could, and we made a ton of contacts through this, like throughout our journey, going to all these rallies and rubbing shoulders with, ton of political people, massive donors. They love the idea and they're like, this is ingenious. What it also does too is you can almost, even though it's a meme coin, you're adding legitimacy to it, right? In a sense, it's able to, for instance, like by us becoming a pack and then injecting it into the crypto market, politics doesn't stop. You have governor races. So this isn't only about Trump. So when Trump is if God forbid, I pray to God he gets in the White House, but even after that, this is about the MAGA movement. It's about MAGA candidates. It's about the crypto movement. So this goes way past Trump. So what we're able to do is you're able to elect pro MAGA candidates, pro crypto candidates, governors, senators. You can collect money on all of them and help them get in office. This doesn't stop. So now you're taking political money out of the traditional system and you're injecting it into the crypto market. What does that do? It doesn't allow for your meme coin, right, to be pegged necessarily to Bitcoin, right? Because usually when the Bitcoin liquidity gets pulled out of the markets, everything crashes because you're sucking liquidity out. Well, when you're injecting outside liquidity as well, from politics, you're not dependent on it. Like it's just like you can utilize the crypto money that's already there, right, to help move your movement forward, but also you're injecting outside money, and it's a lot, like a lot, millions of dollars in politics, huge amount. So our plan is to go around and obviously fundraise, collect all this money, do what we do, and then spread the message. We want to give the people of the crypto world a voice. We are sick and tired of being lied to, right? With the mainstream media, we're sick and tired of the lies from the politicians. I mean, look at Kamala Harris. She's flip flopped on so many things. It's a joke, and then she's held up by the mainstream media. People are being lied to. And she has a big online presence. Well, what we can do is we can create memes calling her out on her BS. We can do that with other politicians, Elizabeth Warren, for instance. Um, she's lied to, the people in Congress that makes the bill. They haven't. Let's be frank. I mean, they're kind of dinosaurs. They don't understand this industry of ours. So when they're only hearing from their friend Elizabeth of what it is, which is complete BS. You know how it supports terrorism. Crypto's the main vehicle for financing terrorism. We know that's BS. I mean, the U.S. dollar is right. So they're kind of misleading the people that actually make the laws, but then they're not affiliated with this industry. They don't understand it. So how can they make a law that they don't understand? So that we can kind of call that out, and it will go mainstream and it will go viral. And these politicians, even if say they don't even interact with the memes, well, they have family members. And best believe, then maybe their sons, their daughters, their nieces, their nephews, they see it, and it spreads virally. Like, it has the ability to spread very, very quickly. And people do this for free, but if you can incentivize people, it'll make them want to do it even more. Also, not only incentivizing people to create memes, we're creating what's called digital mercenaries. So it's opposition researchers. We're going to incentivize people to go and get us the goods, find us the evidence, find us the corruptions, find us the crimes and the frauds and the public deceptions of certain targets. So we are going to have political targets that we're going to put out there where it's just they've been blatantly lying to the people. Why are they even in power? We need to call them out. We're going to expose the mainstream media. They're the biggest arm of this. We have an operation called rhino hunting, where we're going to go after all the rhinos that are just Republicans by names, but that have not been representing their people the right way. They lie to get in office, and then they vote against their people's voices, which is not acceptable, and they need to be removed. The thing is the public needs to be aware and educated, and they don't want to listen. Let's face it, politics are dry, boring. People don't want to get involved. They have to live their lives, they're working, etc. But memes, they're a powerful vehicle. A lot of people nowadays use memes. And then with the opposition researchers, we can find the goods. In the crypto community, there's people that are so talented, extremely talented. Well, we're going to incentivize them to, kind of showcase those talents. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, what we're doing. But we really want to create like a decentralized hub for politics. Why can't voting be on the blockchain? Why? I mean, it's the most transparent thing. Like, it's immutable. Like, you can't what we have these machines that are made out of Canada, right? The Dominion voting system, and basically they count the ballots, like, and the vulnerabilities in 2020. It's showcased, like, it's proven the vulnerabilities. Put it on the blockchain. You get rid of you're able to identify IDs. We KYC to be able to trade on certain exchanges. Voting. I mean, like, it's really, they don't want it because they don't have the ability to cheat, right? But us as the people, we need to, that is our power. Our power is in our vote. That's what makes America great. We have the ability to make change, but the only way we can make change is through our vote. And as soon as we lose the power of our vote, we're no longer America as it sits is no longer a great nation. It's a communist country.
Yeah, I mean, good story, great background there. I'm pretty familiar with, like you were talking about the Butler rally. I'm actually grew up not too far from Butler, Pennsylvania, so kind of familiar with the people that were there and people that were supporting the rally. So that was really an amazing story. Thank you for sharing about your experience there and helping people get safe and understand exactly what was happening there. In addition to that, what you're building here is unlike really anything that we're seeing a lot in the meme coin space at all. Because so whenever the Butler rally and the assassination attempt and the tragedy that happened there that day happened, I remember being on an airplane And I've told this story a couple times on the podcast, and I was like watching the news live. Everybody was like getting it. I was like, I can't believe this is going on right now.
Right.
Like, this is just insanity. Like, I was like, I was totally shocked. Kind of was getting pretty good because I caught on to it a little later, so we could kind of see like Trump was okay, and then there were some other issues with the crowd and moving people along. And then literally it clicked over my head. I was like curious about meme coins, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's wild how meme coins right now tell a story
Yes.
in this day and age. And
Yes.
I was like, I can't believe Trump was almost assassinated. There's this tragedy. I'm like telling people around me, and then I like go on deck screen or I'm on an airplane and I'm
Yeah.
like looking at like meme coins that were being launched. Ones were like ear stays on, fight, fight,
Yes.
fight,
Yes.
and millions of dollars were flowing into these coins. And I was like, and I was dabbling back and forth. I was on an airplane, wasn't like really trading at that time, but
Sure.
uh, when we landed and learning more and more about the news, and all polyfi coins really at that time were, people kind of betting on like Joe Biden or Trump or
Yeah.
VP candidates, and it was almost a way to use your own money to utilize the prediction market, very similar to poly market, where you could bet on who the VP candidate was going to be for the Republican or Democrat Party, but
Correct.
you could buy their meme coin. But where I'm going with this whole story is I can't agree more, is just like how meme coins, memes overall are it just feels like over just the past couple of years have really stormed in and they just tell a story. It's a way for people to support it and a way for people to drive a cause all together backed behind like this meme and buy this coin. And it's really interesting how you're putting utility back behind a meme coin.
Right. Yeah, and that's our goal. And we didn't want it. We wanted to, it's kind of like giving the people the voice, right? And that's what it's about, putting the power back into the people. And how do we do that? And then how do we take it past the election, right? Because a lot of these coins, let's face it, like, once Trump wins and he's in, like, what happens to them? Like, a lot of them donate, and I'm a huge supporter of donating to those causes. Like, that's great. My hat tips off to those people. Like, appreciate that. But as far as like what are you building? Like, what's going past that? Like, we have to ensure this doesn't happen again. But then also we're giving legitimacy to our space, right? Too, just even the meme coin space. Like, it kind of gets a bad knock, but I mean, there's billions of dollars that flow through it. You can't ignore it. It is a monster, right? Now let's give it a sense of utility. Let's bring some meaning behind it, because there's a lot of great people in this space. There's a lot of smart people. They have a ton of talent, and that's what we're hoping to do. Is we're trying to build, not even like in the memes coin space, but like as crypto as a whole. We want to kind of bring that talent in, right? We want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. We want to utilize everybody's talent, and we want to protect this thing of ours, crypto. We want to ensure the MAGA movement lives on too, because we want to make sure America lives great. Is always great. So we want, there's a lot of parents out there. I'm a father, and I couldn't ever, I want to make sure my children have the ability to, chase that American dream, just like I currently am. I believe it's still here. I believe it's under attack. So I'm not going to sit idle. And that's kind of like, as the like our core group, you're not going to find a more motivated group. Like, I'll give you an example. We went through the Butler rally, through the shooting. 6 days later, went to Grand Rapids. I drove 13 hours to get to Grand Rapids. Me and Sean, we get out there and we look, and we seen two seats sitting right behind Trump. I said, we need to go sit behind him, right? He says, you damn right. So we go right there and we sat down, and that feeling, my heart's pounding. Like, obviously, it's still fresh. 6 days, dude. But we wanted to show Trump, hey, listen, we're gonna stand and we're gonna fight right next to you. He might not know exactly what we're doing in regards to. I mean, we have the big camp. We got canvassing operation going in all swing states. We have a massive canvassing operation in Pennsylvania. We're out educating voters. We're working with Scott Pressler, registering voters, and then we have this crypto venture of ours that we believe is going to be have a great success. We are pushing. We're making the right contacts. We are hunters. We won't stop. Like, we're just not going to stop. This is our career. So even after the Grand Rapids, we were traveling to Uniondale for a rally, and then all of a sudden it broke on X that they might have found a bomb outside of the rally. I look at my brother. I said, "We're still going, huh?" He goes, "You damn right we are." Like that's the world we live into. But that's how, like we won't. We're not scared. We won't back down. We will continue this fight no matter what. That's what type of people we are.
Yeah, you guys are obviously extremely passionate for your cause, and you're trying to spread the word as much as you can. It's kind of ironic that during this podcast, I got a text message from a older friend of mine who I've known for years, and I got him. And the reason I kind of say old friend of mine is he is not crypto native by any means, but I got him into Bitcoin years ago. Kind of gave him the whole 411 behind it, and he's done very well. And he's just kind of been like bag holding it up and down through cycles, and I love him for that. And he just texted me that he got some more exposure to Bitcoin today after years. He
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah, yeah.
bought it, you know, after years, and he's done very well. I think he's like 10x on his portfolio, to
Oh,
be
right
honest with
on.
you. I mean, he bought it years ago and just held it, you know.
Right.
And when I was like kind of preaching Bitcoin and never bought any other coins, never any meme coins, but he's like texting me, he's like, and I want to, how passionate you are for Trump and the MAGA group. But his question to me was, he said, I just bought some Bitcoin. And then he sent me a question. He goes, what happens if Kamala Harris wins? Do you think it'll be just as pro crypto as, you know, if Trump wins? And the reason I bring that up is because Trump obviously has been driving a pretty strong crypto narrative recently, released World Liberty Financial just what yesterday, I think, had quite a few $1 million flow into that project. His family's involved, and he's said some pretty pro comments this go around. So it seems like the crypto vote's kind of leading towards Trump. But it was interesting. I kind of just thought of it. What are your thoughts if it doesn't break your way? You know, I know you don't want to probably think about it that way, but what are your thoughts on just crypto if Harris does win the administration?
Bitcoin itself will be fine. As far as the industry, like the crypto outside of Bitcoin is going to be under attack for sure. Let's face it, the big bankers, the censorship, the control, they don't like this industry. They hate it. You know what I mean? It's a deviation from the norm for them, right? You're stripping power for them. That's why it's crucial for us to get Trump in to really protect this, and that's why Kamala has it. And the only time she uses, like, and this is where she flip flops, is kind of a joke. I went to the Bitcoin conference. She had the opportunity to go there, but she didn't.
The Nashville one? Sorry, I didn't
Yes,
mean to
in
cut you off.
Tennessee.
Okay,
Yep,
cool.
yep. We were there, heard Trump speak, and obviously he's pro Bitcoin, and now RFK is actually joining. It's probably going to be part of the cabinet, which is amazing. But as far as Kamala, she flip flops, and she's like, "Well, I'm about it, but as long as it protects the investor." And what that reminds, that same language is regurgitated by Gary Gensler. We all know what protect the investor, air quotes, means from Gary Gensler. It is not pro crypto by any means. It is a stifle. It is attack against this industry. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you make a lot of good points. You make a lot of good points there, and you make a lot of good points earlier when you're talking about like just voting on the blockchain. And I would imagine as this technology continues, you know, to evolve over time, and you know the younger generation continues to embrace it and gets into positions of power, we'll see voting on the blockchain. It only makes a ton of sense
For sure.
to me, and I think a lot of people agree with that. And then the crypto part of me I always looked at like crypto and blockchain as like it should be a bipartisan issue. It shouldn't even be
Agreed.
discussed from like
Agreed.
the left or the right.
Right.
I'm just like you were in Bitcoin since what 2016, so
Correct.
you've been through your fair share of ups and downs,
You
and
can say
you know
that.
yeah, I've been around the same time, and I remember. I mean, there's been a lot of shakeouts that have almost happened. Not me personally, but like where I was like, man, this looks bad for
It's
crypto.
rough. Yeah.
One's like the FTX. I remember when FTX happened. I was like, man, like a major centralized exchange with all these linked personalities. This is bad news for crypto. But it only
Right.
really kind of bounced, found a bottom, bounced, and now it's even stronger, and we're getting more sophisticated as people supporting blockchain and cryptocurrency overall.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to kind of say I always thought it should be like a bipartisan issue.
And
You
I
either make
agree, and I'm with you 100%. And everybody thinks like, let's face it, the Democrats and the Republicans is it's the uniparty, right? Like, and that's why we're doing like the rhino hunting operation in regards to exposing the rhinos. It's all one monster, really. Left wing, right wing, same bird type thing. Donald Trump had to choose the Republican Party because that's the way our politics runs. Um, and that's where like the MAGA movement comes in. It's about making America great. It's not about making a certain group great, right? Or certain ideology. Like when you break it down and you ignore all the mainstream media BS, it's about helping out every American, no matter what. It doesn't matter what your politics are. It doesn't matter your race, your creed, religion. It doesn't matter, and that's what makes America great, and that's what I support, and that's what Donald Trump supports. So I think, and I agree, crypto is a bipartisan thing. I think it should be. But the left, for some reason, the people that are in power, let's face it, are notoriously owned by the banks, you know, and they don't like that. They don't like the crypto. They don't like not being in control. That's a problem because we, the people, should always be in control.
yeah, can't argue that, and it's definitely decentralization and cryptocurrency is a threat to the overall legacy banking or traditional finance system for sure, because there's just so many things you can do, and again, that's just further reason why it should be a bipartisan issue.
Right.
And then when when people talk about like bankers or anything along those lines, I mean, there's definitely a world where where they make a lot of sense, but there's definitely a world where we can kind of mix these traditional finance and decentralized finance and come up with a more sophisticated system. But I always used to joke whenever my buddies, I have a couple really good friends that are in the banking world, a couple really good friends that are financial advisors, and of course they're slightly like, I tell them like, what do you do? I was like, I host a crypto podcast. I
Yeah.
talk about crypto a lot. They're just like almost like think I'm like joking. It's become more because I've been in it for a while now, but
Sure.
now as Bitcoin's almost about to hit $70,000, everyone's ears start to perk up a little
Of
bit. But
course.
I was just with a buddy recently on a golf trip. He's a great guy, a financial advisor, and he was like giving me a hard time as we were golfing with the boys about crypto and Bitcoin. I don't even remember specifically. And somebody said something. I was like, at the end of the day, and I pointed at him, I go, to my buddy's a financial advisor, and he's great at what he does. I was like, you're asking a taxi driver what he thinks of Uber right now. I was like, it's like not even like in the same
Yeah.
wheelhouse, and we kind
Right.
of just all had a little chuckle. But you're definitely passionate about what you do, Nick, and it's cool what you're doing. How you bring in the meme coins and the meme world together, because you really recognize, like, I'll give you credit that you're really savvy about how you recognize like memes are a way to communicate to a younger generation and an older generation. Like my dad's in his like late 70s. We like joke about it and like share memes all the time, and like
Right.
it hits both of us.
It's
So
powerful.
yeah, it's interesting how you're like really bringing this utility world together. Want to give you an opportunity to kind of like how people could, find you or get exposure to what you're building at the MAGA Meme PAC, kind of just a call out. So, there's a way to, be involved with, what you're passionate about.
Yeah, you can find us on TikTok and X. X is the best source. We really, we're huge supporters of Elon Musk and what he's doing, by buying X and giving us that public square where free speech is just, what it should be, right? Everybody can speak their mind. So we really, you can find us on X, and it's at the MAGA Boys with a Z, um, and TikTok at the MAGA Boys as well. And yeah, we're attending all the rallies. We're doing everything we can. We're out registering voters still. Trying to get Donald Trump reelected. God bless. And we're gonna keep fighting. We got big things happening. We're gonna try to take over New York and Cali. The red wave is next, right? We have some crucial governor races coming up. Seats in Congress. We're doing petitions. I mean, we're going to be implementing memes in our project throughout politics, and then we're going to be onboarding a bunch of developers too, because we need to decentralize politics, and that's our goal.
I was actually going to close out, but I got one more question for you,
Yeah, yeah,
and
shoot.
it sparked it because I was like, I wrote this down earlier, but you brought up Elon Musk, and we obviously know he's a pretty big Trump supporter. I think I
Yes.
even read he donated like 75 million
Yep.
this week or something, but I'm kind of curious of your thoughts on just because it's so timely, how Tesla, who Elon Musk is, the founder CEO of, moved $765 million to Bitcoin in some wallets today. And I know the wallets weren't connected to any crypto exchanges, so there's no like immediate like they're sending it to their Coinbase wallet to like liquidate today. But just
Mhm.
curious what you thought that move was, or just wanted to get your vibe there.
I think he's gonna loan against it. I don't think he
Oh.
knows what Bitcoin. He's a smart individual. He knows the value of it. He obviously has also uh, connections throughout the world. He knows who's buying and where this thing is going. But I think it is a tool you can kind of loan against, right? That's the world of DeFi. That I think that's where this is going. I think that's what's happening, in my opinion.
I like that call. It's better than he's going to hit the sell button.
Nah.
I don't think there's a. I talked about it on our market update today. I said that it's not like really bullish or bearish in my eyes. You could argue like it's bearish that the Bitcoin moved after 2 years, but like it's kind of bullish because it moved to like wallets that weren't connected to exchanges. And there's a lot of things he could be doing with that Bitcoin. Like you said, he could be like prepping it to be loaned against.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's pretty much we know nothing,
Correct.
but until it happens. But let the speculation roar.
Sure.
Nick, again, man, I appreciate you jumping on. It was fun to chat it up, to kind of hear about your story, hear about what you're building, and we'll definitely give a shout out to everyone. And this will be out real soon.
I appreciate you, Brian. God bless, brother.
Thanks.